we need to send a proposal. So every meeting that we go, it's like 60%. And then how many meetings we get in terms of impressions. And here, what's impressions is cold emails, cold calling, marketing in general, okay? Networking, etc. So, okay, so we're gonna start the background. So as he has a sales cycle of 2 months, if he wants to get 1.2 clients in month 3, which is now, which is in 2 more months, he needs to be doing, he needs to be sending today, each month, 15 proposals, okay? And then if he wants to send 15 proposals, he needs to he needs to go to 25 meetings a month. And then this is the hardest one. To get a meeting, this is the smallest conversion rate that we have. So to get a meeting, this is like 5%, okay? So when you do this kind of numbers, it's quite impressive what you need to be doing now. You shouldn't be here. You should be just calling and doing stuff. So if you want to get 1.5 clients in our conversion rate, we should be doing 500 impressions. And that's what we do. We do even more. We do like 1,000 because we do a lot of cold callings. And Christian here, he's our commercial guy and he's always on the phone. You should be on the phone right now. I don't know what you're doing here. Or sending an email or whatever. So when you do this kind of math, it really surprises you. And when we did it and we said, okay, we want to get 50 clients by the end of the year, it's quite amazing what you should be doing. So what is the sales overall metric that you should be covering? And here's a question that I'm going to answer myself. It's not the number of dollars that you're getting in, it's the amount of metrics that you're doing. How many cold callings are you doing? How many cold emails? How many impressions? How many marketing? How many inbound? Blah, blah, blah. And that's what we measure. And then sales is a result of just being on the street. And it's going to work. If you know your sales cycle and you know your conversion rates, of course, these conversion rates are not fixed. They change because then you have metrics and then you have the data to be sure what's your exact percentage of conversion rate. So by doing this, you don't target and you don't chase the dollars. You chase the meeting. You chase sending the proposal. So that's a switch that you have to do when you're talking about conversion rates. Of course, there is always a need, and sometimes I'm reaching the metrics, and then I'm okay, Christian. How many dollars are we going to call because we need to pay the money, you know? But this is quite surprising. So there you have a lot of things to do. You should be generating 500 impressions a month. Of course, this will decrease if you add more inbound cold emails, campaigns. It will decrease. What we try to do is do more cold calling, personalized emails, and referrals. Referrals is a quite good impression. So that's conversion rate. It's super simple, I think. The hard thing is to actually know how much this percentage are and how long is your sales cycle. And that varies in every business. So what I'm going to do next, I want to see first if you guys have any questions here. And then I'm going to jump into how we measure all these metrics. Yeah. So what you do then is each of this is a final. This is like the sum of the products. But then you have a conversion rate here, 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 and each of those are different. So referrals will be better, and our referrals rates, conversion rates are quite good. I'll say 30%. They're really good. So what we have, how do you call it? Yeah, so we have a lot of people standing in for us. So, for example, we are in HR. So there are quite big organizations of HR in the internet. So every time someone asks for performance reviews, we have like 5 people who say, hey, rank me. So Yeah, so hey, these guys are great. And so we're looking at those questions, and every time we see engagement, performance, etc., we're like calling these guys, hey, please say rank me and many times is your customers, which is even better referrals. And so in terms of referral, you have actually two. You have people that you know, that they kind of know your product, and clients. And clients are always the best. And we put our referrals clients always in the proposal, and we give them open list and say, hey, you can call whoever you want. Just tell me who you want to call.
Okay. How much effort do you put on the conversion rates in comparison to the effort you put on getting to these numbers?
Sorry, no, come again.
How do you balance the effort you put on the conversion rate to improve it in comparison to the numbers that you need to target? Like you need to have 500 impressions, but you have 5%. Maybe if you have 5.5%, then you don't need that.
Definitely.
So how do you balance that?
So the way it works is these are conversion rates, but you always, it's a good question. You always have a final conversion rate. Okay, so what would be your final conversion rate? Is this one. So in terms of every impression you do, this is your conversion rate from impression to, it's quite low, you see? So every impression, which is 0.3%, will turn up in one client in 2 months.
How do you know where you get more value, on this 0.3% or on the 500? Because you have a limited number of resources, right? So maybe if you improve that, you don't need this amount. How do you balance that?
Okay, I think I got your questions. So what I think is the most important thing in sales is the follow-up. So whenever you send a proposal, this is critical. The 10%. So you can send 1,000 proposals, but if you're not doing the follow-up, which is the most important thing, you're not going to get anything. So if you improve this one, which is the one you need to improve is the one, in my view, is the one closer to the customer, to the new customer. Of course, you always can improve this, but what you're going to be doing is more activities. So you're going to be adding referrals, marketing campaigns, seminars, being here. I don't know if you guys need any performance reviews. Just give me a call. But I think the most important one is the follow-up. And here you have to be super strategic. How many weeks after you send, or how many days after you send a proposal, you're going to call him? And what I will say will improve your conversion rate a lot is the qualifying your leads, basically. So is this guy the person who makes the decision? Is this the decision making? Does he have the budget? So all those questions. If he's not the decision making person, you have to call to his. You need to get a meeting with his boss. No, so that's the way, and I think this is the one. Yeah.
About sales cycle time, you probably have many steps to achieve. How do you know if your sales cycle time is okay, is fit, or how do you know, how can I improve to reduce the time of sales cycle?
So I'm gonna talk about from the B2B perspective, and we actually fight a lot on this subject because Cristiano on his side, he thinks customers manage the sales cycle because it's their decision, their timing, etc. And I'm more from the point of view that we could like accelerate that sales cycle. So there is an average. So for example, the longest sales cycle that we had is 1 year, maybe a little bit more. And it was this guy. He was a customer of us before. So he bought our product, and I thought, oh, okay, these guys know how to speak. He's ugly, but he can talk, and he has some commercial skills. So then we hired him as our sales guy, and he knew the product already. So I'll say, how do you improve that? Having people that knows your software, that have commercial skills, and then sometimes you cannot do anything because, for example, in our case, customer will hire you, they will budget in August and they will hire you in January. There's nothing you can do there. And they're not gonna tell you in August if they're gonna hire you, they're gonna wait until January. So I think you can squeeze them a little bit and manage the sales cycle by giving discounts. And we try that. We say, hey, if you close with us this month, we're going to give you a 20% discount. So that's a trick to do it. Or having 2 products. We have 3 products, so you can give one for free, etc. But
Of all these steps, you think sometimes you can understand some step is unnecessary and they call it, this is step called sales cycle, or do you think that you can reduce?
yeah, so the question is, if we have a clear stages on our sales cycle, and if we can jump them, definitely, yeah. Every client is different. Sometimes you will go directly to the boss. Sometimes it depends on the company, and some companies we reach the COO because we know him, and some companies have the culture, if you come from the CEO, it will be like, nah, I don't want to take it because they're like inputting the software that I should be using, but I'm the analyst. So sometimes we go bottom up or bottom down. So that's changing the sales cycle and the sales approach. It depends in every industry, client, and you have to read that. And it's the hardest part. Yes. The worst answer ever. But